Welcome to Channel Migrating, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Cao Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, despite of the general election 2025, there is not much of a immigration policy has been, well, they had to put on pause button, so nothing is actually being announced. Well, there's some opposition leaders calling out for, decrease further on the net overseas migration numbers, and also the decrease of immigration, the international students. But anyhow, I would like to take this opportunity on this video to talk about one questions that may raise or already been raised. Now, if you're at the age of over 30, should you still consider to come to Australia? Now, that's a big question because over the past 12 months, what had happened is the government of Australia basically had announced that they had reduced the age requirement for the subclass 485 visa. Now, what is that going to do with this? Because usually people choose Australia to come and study abroad because they will have the advantage to actually access, if they choose to study at least 2 years in Australia, you'll be able to access the so-called subclass 485 as a post-temporary graduate visa, meaning that you'll have a work permit 2 years at least after you actually graduate. That's actually very, very good because so you can actually practice your whatever that you have learned, your knowledge and skill that you have learned, and fulfill the workforce requirements, the labor requirements in Australia, and also pathway to permanent residency. Now, if you're over 30, should you still consider? Now, the key question is this. Now, subclass 485 over the last 12 months, what had happened is they have reduced the limitation down to right here to 35 years of age. Okay, if we click on the eligibility and click on the age requirement, you can see you must be 35 years of age or under when you apply. That means you cannot be over 36. That's basically what it is. So should you really still consider? Now, there will be some scenario like this. Now, first thing, the most important things, if you're reaching the age of 30, usually you would already have some work experiences already accrued. So my first prioritize things that you require to do to come to Australia is you really need to get your skill assessed first, because if you have already got your skill assessment done, that means you have already passed the standard skill for your particular occupation during your time come to Australia, whether you come in working holiday visa or whatever the other visa, student visa perhaps. If you have identified a potential job that's within your occupation, then you can be sponsored straight away. It will be pretty straightforward. Now, you may argue that some of the occupation does not require skill assessment. Yes, that's correct. But having a skill assessment done, it gives more credits to the Australian employer, and you'll be more assured that your skills and talent and within your occupation can be taken by the Department of Immigration and its regulations. So that will be the first number one things that I will always recommend someone to do. Now, the other thing is, should you come as an international students? Well, if you're still age about 33 or 32, only if, well, you can still consider 32 or 33 or 32 or under, okay, you may still consider to come to Australia to study a master courses. Sorry, not bachelor, okay, because bachelor then you will be over 35 years of age. So gotta be a master course. Then you will still be able to access to that 485 visa, the 2-year work permits right after you graduate. Now, over that age, well, I will say, unless you wanted to take a master by research or PhD program, which will then allow you to be under age of, I think, 50. You will still be able to access to the 485 visa, but that's more for the scholar and researchers. Yes, you may know what I mean. So that will be my recommendation for anyone that's considering coming to Australia to study. Now, you may ask, why, if you can find a job, why would I consider to come to Australia to study any further? Now, first thing is, you have already answered your question. That's if you can only find a job. The problem is it will be very, very hard and extremely hard to find a job if you're overseas. It's pretty simple to understand. I don't understand. A lot of people don't get this. Now, if you're an employer, think about this: which country that you're coming from. Anyhow, if you have someone who is a foreign person and you have a little shop, just say a little shop, okay, at the corner of a street, all right, and then somebody from other countries, you may tell physically, or he's just a traveler, come into your shop and say, look, boss, can I work at your shop? What would be your response to that? And that would be pretty straight. Oh, you receive an email from elsewhere, another country, sending your resume. Can I work at your shop? What would your reaction to be? Now that's exactly how the employment brokering, getting a job is really about. So what I'm trying to say is, you got to be there. You got to be local there. If you're already there, now the reason that then you utilize international student visa is because you got to study there. They know you're a student locally, and they know you're living right there. It's more, the probability of you getting that offer or job is much higher, probably 300% higher, or perhaps 1000% higher. It's just much higher than somebody else is just offshore somewhere else in the world. You don't even know, it's probably a hacker or some spam mail. No one's gonna read it. So don't try that. You want to be local, you want to come to Australia. So there'll be several, if you're still within the age range and the passport holding whatever the country, because they have different age requirements, you can come as a working holiday visa, or perhaps come as an international student. Now, if you're age over 35, I already answered that. The only options here is, it's gonna be really hard, because you're running out of visa to actually come to Australia to actually identify opportunities. So you may just try skill migration offshore, getting your skill assessment done, and then get IELTS 8, and then just lodge it that way. So there's not really an option to actually come to Australia. But if you do want to come, then you got to be in the range of either researchers or PhD program. So then you can access to further temporary graduate work permits afterwards. Other than that, it will be pretty hard to find a job to actually get you over to Australia, unless you have been recommended by close friends and who is really trustworthy to actually connect you to that employment opportunity. So here we go. That's the video about talking about should you really come to Australia if you're reaching the age of 30 above, and just give you some options there. Have a think about it. You're more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.